FYI, denim at its best. I don't even think this has spandex in it. Why should it? Look at the barrel shape. You look bow-legged in these. It's about $4 a yard, four US dollars a yard. What makes these jeans $1,700? Hey everybody, it's Diane Gilman, formerly known as the Queen of Jeans, and we are talking jeans today, for sure. But now, the proud host of Fashion Thursdays with Diane. You know, this was not my favorite song from the 60s, Where Have All the Flowers Gone? But I'll tell you what, I can transfer that to fashion and say, where has all the beauty gone? Where has all the dreaminess gone? I mean, honestly, let's just do Runway to Reality. And I'm telling you that the fashion industry is in a self-destructive, suicidal streak that starts with denim and moves on to everything around it. Except maybe beautiful evening gowns for $250,000 that you see during the awards seasons. So, to be perfectly honest with you, fashion is a marginal purchase at best. And I remember going into the fashion industry, and fashion design will always be my first love 60 years ago. And it was about making a young customer look cute, look sexy, be desirable. And you used to really think about fashion and what you were going to wear as how you were going to attract your husband, first husband, second husband, I don't know. But it was about dreaminess. And as fashion designers, we were dreamers and we felt an obligation to the customer. And it seemed to me it was a given. You wanted to look thinner. You wanted to look more toned. You wanted to look younger. You wanted to look all around better. And fashion was supposed to help you with that. And then when jeans became a really classic purveyor of lifestyle, a lifestyle you wanted to lead because Britney Spears was wearing denim and you wanted that lifestyle. It was about just that. What has happened to fashion today? Runway seems to have completely disengaged itself from reality, price wise, too. And going to these fashion shows, they are so weird. They are so overproduced. I went to one, and it's a brand called Form, F-F-O-R-M-E. And it's very loose and it's very baggy and it's the whole oversized trend. So it was held at 9 o'clock at night, freezing cold, in a really depressing warehouse with just raw concrete floors and walls. All the models had their hair like glued down to their scalp with like a stocking over them so they look bald. And you're sitting there with virtually no music, no heat. Everyone's trying to make something out of it, right? Because they're either going to have to go to print with it or they're going to have to be obligated to buy it by their corporation. And you're just thinking to yourself, really? You think I'm going to pay $12,000 for one of these outfits to look depressing? I can look depressing all on my own, especially for the customer past 50. So they described Fashion Month this time. It's not even Fashion Week. It all just comes and flows together. And you never see the runway shows. You only see the people dressed for the runway shows because they're all dressed for one another. They called it M-E-H, as in meh. That was the accolade for the entire season. And when I started watching it, especially brands like Chanel and Gucci that have a ton of money behind them, a huge name recognition, there's nothing there to see. There's nothing I don't already have in my closet as either authentic or a fake. And even the simplest things, if I wasn't in fashion, and I was thinking to myself, okay, what would make me in these kind of depressing, dark, uncertain times spend some money on fashion? It would be something that cheered me up, like maybe a really bright, cheerful color in a Gucci loafer, which I know I can wear. It feels good on my feet and is a practical semi purchase. And maybe they substitute the horse bit and put bamboo in the middle. And then you've got the matching leather bamboo purse to match. So you're bright and bright and you can wear it with all your neutrals in your closet. No, no, not even one bright color to cheer me up. I would love like a kind of acidic, bright yellow. 2 years ago with Barbie, I got pink. And you know what? I love them and I wear them all the time. Come on, give me a shade of green. Give me a shade of beautiful aqua, blue, saturated blue. Nothing. Nada. And Chanel? Oh my God. I hope they're not paying whoever their head designer is because that stuff is depressing. But I want to talk about something that should be cheerful, that should be reasonable, that should be uplifting, that should do something for you. And I say, when I say you, I mean you and me as customers who are over 50. And let's face it, we need a little help, okay? Nothing wrong with that. No embarrassment there. But I'm not perfect. And past 50 or 55, I don't have a six pack. Actually, I never had a six pack. And I need my clothing, I need my fashion to give me some love, to be beautiful, to make me feel beautiful, to support me, to soften down the edges on my biggest flaws, and to focus in on the good parts of me and make them look better. Huh. Unreal. When you talk about fashion being in a self destructive, suicidal phase, that is exactly where all my fellow designers and teammates are. So, one thing that is really like absolutely my unfavorite is the wide leg barrel jean. So, yeah. Okay. How many of you raise your hand if you're signing up for this jean? This one is especially impossible with a long, lean top put out underneath it. And I've got one for you that is absolutely what I have to term one of the ugliest bottoms I've ever seen in my life. And ladies, this is almost a $2,000 jean. No, you didn't misunderstand me. It is unbelievably expensive. And ironically, it comes from a designer, Azad and Elia, who became huge amongst the fashion crowd in the mid 80s because he so celebrated the female body. He sold his company recently, retiring, and they decided to take the philosophy and flip it and make clothing that makes you look distorted and unrealistic and freaky and laughable and impossible to wear. Do you, as a fashion house and designer, justify this kind of reimagining of the human frame as something distorted? We are talking about shock value. We are talking about you ain't doing me any favors. And if you are self conscious, and I'm a little self conscious about aging, and I want things to be controlled and perfect. I don't want to have a boxy, oversized jacket on, a shapeless t shirt, and an oversized jean. I don't think layered over oversized is a good look. But honestly, that's what we get. Seriously, Come on, and you're wearing it with 6-inch stiletto heels just to try to compensate for some of the overwhelming ugliness of this jean. Now, the only way a jean like this is going to look good, or a big sloppy look like this is going to look good, is if you've got on a really form-fitting top, or you're showing, maybe you're wearing just a bra top, which I've seen on the runway, and you're showing off a six-pack. Otherwise, what are you doing here? You're just challenging the customer, and that is fine. If you are a teenager, a Gen Xer, in your early to mid 20s, and you've got a perfect physique, so you can do sloppy and big and then show off a small part of your body. But otherwise, this is, and I've tried every single one of these, this is a very hostile approach to the aging customer. Now, understand something. If any of us had a choice, and I'm saying this to the design community, we wouldn't be aging, would we? We'd all stay 30 years old. Yeah, look at this. Impossible to wear, and thousands of dollars. And on top of it all, I'm getting chastised all the time. With what? Oh, you're wearing skinny jeans. They're so yesterday. The barrel jean is so today. Okay, all right. I admit it. I'm stuck in yesterday. But guess what? The best part of my body as I aged was my legs. Yeah, I don't want to look like this. I don't want to be. I mean, people would just laugh at me. And I live in the fashion capital of the United States, New York City. I would not put myself under this kind of criticism and scrutiny. And I get the same thing all the time. The oversized look, which has gone into these baggy jeans where it's big on big on big, has been around for years now. These are the biggest jeans ever, and that really is 2024 25. Hey, so if you know me, you know I am a big believer that red light is the future of wellness and beauty. Mito Red Light is my new absolute favorite. It's like giving your cells a power boost. It's incredible. So red light therapy helps support energy, skin health, and even reduces inflammation, all with the simple power of light. Red light, that is. I use mine every day, and I can feel the difference. If you want to glow from the inside out, check out Mito Red Light, because your cells feel energized and you feel unstoppable. Use my code below on mitoredlight.com for a discount and see why red light therapy is lighting the way to better aging. Mito Red Light. Power your cells, power your life. Every time I buy something like this, and I'm trying to wear it, I get the same remarks, and these are from friends that are in fashion and have spent their entire career in fashion. And they say to me, you bought those in the wrong size. No, I didn't. They're supposed to be oversized. Yeah, you bought this outfit in the wrong size. Now, I'm going to ask you something. Unless you are about to go into a mental hospital and be treated, are you going to spend $5,000-$6,000 on this outfit? Well, if you're not going to spend that kind of money, you're not going to get it, because that's what it costs. And FYI, denim at its best. I don't even think this has spandex in it. Why should it? Look at the barrel shape. You look bow-legged in these. It's about $4 a yard, four US dollars a yard. What makes these jeans $1,700? So this is, without a doubt, the emperor's new clothes. Like all these fashion conscriptions where you sign up and you get these reports and you get street fashion and runway tell you This is the way you should look. This is the way you should be dressed, especially living in New York or living in LA or living in Miami. Who do you know that has jeans like this? And let me give you a little clue here. As someone who has been in the fashion industry for over half a century, you've got to make money to spend money and stay in business. You're not going to make any money here, but you are bullied into believing you've got to dress this way. And you know what? Times are dark enough right now and ugly enough that I don't need to spend any of my expendable income on looking ugly. And honestly, people have given up on me. They just say, you look ridiculous in oversized. Stop wearing it. Well, I invested a lot of money in it and I believed in it. But you know what? Just recently, maybe in the last 2 weeks, that fashion headlines have been, the skinny jean is back. Here's how to wear it. It never went anywhere. We are living in an overproduced runway, unrealistic, marketing driven world. And these big brands like Gucci and Burberry and Chanel are so overlayered with corporate that you don't have a choice. Everything is about how they're correct, you're wrong, you should be wearing this. I don't know. What do you guys think? I mean, first of all, I think the pricing is completely absurd. Second of all, I think as part of a spending public, female, who is over 50. We are about 55% of the spending power of America. Are you going to spend your money on this? Okay. If I went to Amazon or I went to TikTok shop and there were a pair of jeans. I don't know if I would even buy them at $19, but let's say they were $19. What have I got to lose? And then maybe, as a fashionista, I'm going to understand why my entire industry suicidally keeps pushing this kind of unwearable clothing. But my next piece of good news, which is not good news, is guess what? Now we've got tariffs. So if you're saying to yourself, oh, come on, Diane, of course not. I'm not going to go to as an Elia. I'm not going to spend $2,300 on a pair of jeans that makes me look like a clown. But I might want to try experimenting with these. You're not going to get to anymore because the great copier, the great manufacturing genius, China, everything is now going to be 25% and more higher. I'm even having issues, and I bet you are too, with ordering anything off Amazon or TikTok where it goes direct to a factory purchase. They don't want any of what they ship to get hung up on the docks of China or Hong Kong and be in a container boat for 6 months while China and the US duke it out over tariff wars. So they're just not going to ship. Yeah, it's true. And now I'm going to tell you another secret. A lot of the high end brands where you may be tempted to buy, maybe it's your birthday, maybe it's your anniversary. Yeah, you need an excuse, make up an excuse. Guess what? They're made in China too. Yeah, I could not believe that. But I'll tell you what, as long as the quality is there, I'm okay with that. But now it's crazy what's going to happen. Anything I wanted, knowing the tariff war was coming, like just bought another, I know, I'm addicted. I admit it. Okay, take me to faux fur rehab. What about another faux fur coat? It looks exactly like gray mink. Now, I said, Diane, do you really need another fur that's faux? And my answer was, well, Light hair gray looks really good to me. Yeah, Diane, but do you really need another one? No. But at $39, I can afford to make a mistake. That coat is probably going to turn around now and be $79. Just because you're getting 25% tariffs, it doesn't mean necessarily that the goods are only going to be 25% higher. There's all sorts of hidden costs that layer in like a meal fleur pastry in between. And on top of that, at least the coat was great looking. And people kept saying to me yesterday, "What kind of fur is that?" And I said, "Polyester." "What do you mean?" I said, "It's polyester. It's not real." "Oh no, come on." Yeah, for sure. So for me, I think the sadness and the craziness is I just got in on fast fashion. I was completely brainwashed as a fashionista, and I was absolutely sure that I couldn't just buy an oversized cotton big shirt from Amazon. It had to be from Chloe or Isabel Marant. It had to be $3, $4, $5, $6, $7, $800. But actually, that's just a fever dream. I got my big shirt for spring off of Amazon. It was $29. It doesn't wrinkle. It fits perfectly. I could throw it in a suitcase and take it out and hang it up, and it's a number one okay. Throw it in the washer, throw it in the dryer. So the whole myth of big name brands, whose, by the way, prices have risen to a point that is terrifying and quality has fallen, as opposed to fast fashion. The myth is completely shattered. Fast fashion has so many fantastic opportunities to get a look at 10% of the price you would pay for a label like a Gucci. And then again, those big name brands like Gucci and Chanel aren't giving me anything that's new or that I really want. And I'll tell you what, either if you are in fashion, and I saw this coming in, it's one of the reasons why at 78 years old, I thought, you know what? I'm going to step back from fashion. I don't believe that I'll um, be able to continue the kind of fantastic bargains and the quality I could in the denim I was creating, DG2. I look at myself today, and even though that was a very difficult decision, I would not want to be in the fashion industry today, either high end or fast fashion. I was somewhere kind of in between. What high end fashion has to offer is nothing more than a circus. It's nothing more than an illusion. They don't even show these shows anymore because there's nothing to see. I saw the Gucci show and it was all gray. There was virtually no color, nothing cheery, nothing that I didn't already have in my closet. A double breasted blazer, a single breasted blazer in gray, la 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 la. And if there isn't high end, there's not going to be low end, and you're not going to get what you want from fast fashion. So I say you either buckle your seatbelt if you're in the fashion industry or run for the nearest lifeboat, because when times get uncertain, vanity purchases like fashion, two things happen. Fashion houses get very scared, naturally. And by the way, all those colors should be in a Gucci loafer and a matching bamboo handle purse. Just telling you. The fashion houses either get incredibly conservative and sort of frozen, which is what a lot of these European brands are now, or there's nothing to copy, and fast fashion gets slower, less choices, in just less industry freedom and excitement. People, wake up. If you are a big name brand, you are spending your money on overproduced fashion shows and magazine ads that do not equate to your brand or the truthfulness of the brand. Get exciting. You have got to, and I mean truthfully, step out of your box and dream again. Dream about beauty and uplifting color and the possibilities fashion can give your life and the opportunities that can give it. And I swear, I still believe in all of that. I'm just waiting for it to happen again. How about you? Do you feel the same way? Let me know. And in the meantime, Runway meets reality, and it's not pretty. See you again. Thank you so much for listening to Too Young to Be Old podcast. The episode may be over, but the fun doesn't have to stop here. Find us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube at The Diane Gilman, or visit our website, thedianegilman.com. If you like the show, leave us a rating or a review and subscribe so you don't miss the next episode. And until then, don't forget, age is just a number. Together, we'll prove that we are all too young to be old.